Trayvon's death was 50% his fault because he had a hoodie on. And like he tells his son, who is a brown-skinned Latino, you know, you need to be conscious of where you go and you shouldn't dress like that because you're dressing like a thug because you want to be gangster. All right, listen. That's the mind of a sick man. Okay? Because of why he's saying it. Because what he's really saying is that this country is not yours, and if you want to be accepted, you need to learn how to dress and act like those other than yourself. Because you're trash, and that's not the way that, you know, if you present yourself like trash, which is all subjective, right? But now here's what I have to say about that, which sounds similar, but it's exactly totally different. My thing, and what I would, my son is 6, and what I would tell my son is know what part of the jungle you're in. All right? Now, I don't care if you wear a hoodie. I do care if your pants are sagging, because we're going to fight on that one. This is not going down. But wear a hoodie, you know, where you can wear your Timbs. I don't, you know, it's cool. I do at times. But I understand at all times where I'm at. Like even right now. Okay? So when everyone walks in, I'm looking at the room. I see adults here. I see adults who work here. I see students here. I see friends of mine. So I have a diverse audience here. So I'm conscious of the diversity in the room. I have to be. Right? I have to know and understand who I'm talking to. Why? Because I don't want to offend, and I want to be crystal clear on what I'm saying to everybody, with the understanding that everybody is going to receive what I'm saying differently. Because we all speak different languages. Individually, all right, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Individually and culturally. I can tell you what it was. What it was, Battle of Kruger was, it's like a 10-minute clip where there's a group of what they call wildebeest, but they're really buffaloes, like 100 of them, right? They deep, they in the, you know, they're in the jungle, and they move it all together, and then there's a small group of lions and lionesses who are crouching, right? And when the wildebeest get to a certain threshold, then they realize, oh snap, this lion's there. But it's sort of too late for them to retreat. So what they did is, you know, they were like, oh, well, I'm here now, so let me keep going. You know, like you walk down the street, and you see a group of, you know, dudes, you know what I mean? And you got your senses on, like, you know, everybody. It ain't about how they dress. It's a vibe that you get from them. Because some of them might be talking loud. You might see one of them look insecure. He trying to prove to his friends that he, you know, that he tough, because really he the coward out the group, so he gonna try to set something off. So you peeping all this from a distance as you walking down the street. You got to survival, right? So, but then when you get to a certain point, you like, oh, here we go. You know it's coming. You can't retreat, because if you retreat, they definitely gonna follow you. So you keep walking. So what happened? The wildebeest kept moving. And they try to walk by, like the lions, they ain't gonna say, you know, like, you know, you walk by to the lion, like, what's up, guys? You know, you keep going. So what happened is the lions, one of the lions, you know, they started running. So the wildebeest turned around and they retreated. It's like a whole mob of them. But the lions tripped one of the calves up, the babies, and they all pounced and were trying to, you know, eat the calf. And they were pulling it in the water, right? They were actually the water. Water was right here, and then you had the I don't know if that was sand. I couldn't tell from the visual. But anyway, it all happened right there. So what was interesting is that the lions were chewing. They were gnawing on this wildebeest, and then out of nowhere, a crocodile jumps out of the water and grabs a leg. Now there's a tug of war between the lion and the crocodiles for this wildebeest. But while all that's going on, the other wildebeest had ran back and got their family. So you had a whole group. You can Google this right here. You'll see the whole thing I'm talking about. So then it was like it seemed like 100 wildebeest coming back at the lion, and they surrounded the lion, but they were still kind of tentative because they were like, yo, his teeth is kind of big. You can see them measuring like, I think we could take him. And then the lion looked over like, I'm not sure. And they were doing this back and forth. I think we could take him. So then finally one of them came and charged the lion, you know, with his horns, and he came, and one of the lions moved out the way, and then the rest of them got enough heart when that one did, and then they all sort of charged, and the lion got up and they ran. And they left the calf, and the calf, surprisingly, was still alive. Right? It survived. What happened is they unified. He went back and got all the people, and they came back, and they didn't care about the danger. They didn't care about the odds against them, that one of them would be killed. And they came as one group, and they saved their child from the big bad lion, right? And the crocodile, which I thought was most profound, because I don't see a lot of human beings willing to do that, right? But back to Trayvon Martin, again, he's walking in an environment, he's on the phone at night with his girlfriend. All right? Now, it's dark. There has to be some instincts that we have to teach our sons at a younger age to be more aware of what's going on around, because there are beasts that lurk. Right? Now, if that was an actual bear, he might have survived. But he ran into something worse than a bear, which was George Zimmerman. Right? Because bears don't have, they're not vengeful, and they don't have chips on their shoulder. They just are hungry. So if you can feed them, they'll be your friend. They'll be your boo-boo baby, right? You give them some honey, and they're good. Right? So but they don't have that type of animosity like people do. The chips on the shoulder like this guy did. Obviously, the cops told him stand down, but he's still going. Why? Because that's a sickness. That's a more dangerous animal than a bear. Okay? Now, our children walk around in this jungle every day, all day, amongst these dangerous animals. And I'm not talking racially when I speak about that. I'm talking about danger coming all colors, shapes, and forms. Right? In Philadelphia, what, 300-400 murders, black on black crime mostly. Ain't no white or Hispanics, it's black on black. Right? So the dangerous animals could be living right next door to you. So if you don't understand how to negotiate and navigate through a dangerous environment, then you become prey for the animals in that environment. Now, when I say animals, I'm not dissing anybody. I'm saying that we're all animals, and we all have animalistic ways about us. We all know it, but it's not, we don't like for people to see it, but we all, in some way, form, or fashion, even when you're eating a hamburger, think about it. Right? You're not actually walking up to a cow and saying, ah, let me bite a piece of it. Yo, well, that's a nice leg. Well, let me grab this cow. Ah, hand me the ketchup. Hand me the ketchup. Oh, it's kind of tough here. Let me put some heat on. Let me get the torch. We don't do that. But we go and we'll buy a hamburger, right? So we're still eating the same beef, right? It looks more sophisticated, but we still are animals. Even if you're a vegetarian, you're eating a plant that's alive. It was once alive. So you're still killing a life. If you understand the notion of killing in order to eat, in order for something to live, something else must die. So anything you eat was once alive if it's going to help you to continue to live. You can't eat anything that was not at one time alive and sustain yourself. Right? So, at the end of the day, we all are animals. So how do we as animals of a higher form learn to be civil? Right? And at the same time, conscious and aware of what's going on around us, and teach our children how to be conscious and aware of the dangers that lurk in an environment that's seemingly civil. Because that's what always gets us when we think we're safe. If we were walking in our conception of a jungle, like, you know, with the vines, like Tarzan, you know, you got the vines, the cheetah swings from it, you got 50, 100 feet trees, and you know, and you hear the birds whispering and singing, and you know, that's the vision that people see when we talk about the jungle. So now you actually are paranoid because you expect it. But when we're walking down the street and it's seemingly a nice neighborhood, we don't have that same fear because we figure we're safe. Right? Now, has anybody heard of the theory, not the theory, but social contract? Does anyone know what the social contract is? This is from my political science days. A social contract, basically, this was, and I believe it was Rousseau, I might be wrong with which philosopher it was, but essentially the social contract is a contract that existed, not like a written contract, but it was an agreement that people made amongst and between each other, where they decided, look, it'd be better if we come together and pool our resources and create an environment and society and social environment where we help each other to survive and we protect each other's interests. That way, if it's just me and my wife and my son moving about,